Be me, 34, VP of operations at a mid-sized fintech firm in Manhattan, living in a glass box on the 42nd floor. The view is incredible. Can see the Empire State Building if I press my face against the cold window. Most nights I just see my own reflection. Tired eyes. Designer loungewear that costs more than my parents' mortgage. Single. Again. Just ended things with Marcus. He was perfect on paper. Investment banker. 6'2" marathon runner. Talked exclusively about crypto and intermittent fasting. We broke up because our schedules didn't align for 3 weeks straight. No fight. Just a Google Calendar invite cancellation. Sync up later? He texted. We never did. Pour a glass of Sancerre. Open laptop. The algorithm feeds me memories. 7 years ago today. It's a photo of me and Leo. We're in a beat-up Honda Civic, wearing thrift store flannels. I'm laughing with my mouth wide open. No filters. No contouring. Just raw, stupid happiness. Leo looks at me like I'm the only thing in the world that matters. I close the laptop, but I can't close the memory. Met Leo when I was 23. I was a frantic junior analyst running on caffeine and anxiety. He was a carpenter. Worked for a small restoration company. Hands always rough, stained with walnut stain or paint. Smelled like cedar and old rain. We met at a coffee shop. I dropped my binder. Papers everywhere. Everyone stepped over me. New York pace. Leo stopped, knelt down. Helped me organize everything by color. Didn't hit on me. Just smiled and said, slow down, the city isn't going anywhere. We dated for 4 years. He wasn't rich. Lived in a rent-controlled apartment in Queens. But he made that place feel like a sanctuary. He built the bookshelves himself. Restored a vintage velvet sofa he found on the curb. Cooked dinner every night because I worked until 8 p.m. I'd come home vibrating with stress. Complaining about my boss. About the subway. About the patriarchy. Leo would just listen. Pour me cheap wine. Rube my shoulders until the knots dissolved. You're doing great, he'd say. But don't lose yourself in the grind. I loved him. God, I loved him. But then the promotions started coming. Senior analyst. Manager. My salary doubled, then tripled. I started hanging out with the power circle. Women like Jessica and Chloe. Sharp suits. Sharp tongues. They drank martinis at the Beekman and dissected their partners. He makes how much? Jessica would sneer. You can't build an empire with a laborer, honey. Does he even have a 5-year plan? I started looking at Leo differently. Saw the sawdust on his boots as dirt, not work. Saw his contentment as laziness. He turned down a foreman position because he wanted to keep working with his hands. I like the craft, he said. I don't want to manage spreadsheets. I screamed at him that night. It's about potential, Leo. It's about growth. I am growing, he said quietly. I'm getting better at what I do every day. That's not enough, I yelled. Not for who? For you? Or for your friends? That stung. Because he was right. But I was too deep in the narrative. The narrative that said I was a queen and I needed a king. And kings didn't drive Civics. The resentment built up like silt. Every time he wanted to stay in and watch a movie, I felt stifled. Every time he talked about a beautiful piece of wood he found, I feigned interest. I started resenting his peace. It felt like an anchor dragging me down while I was trying to fly. The breakup was clinical. I took him to dinner. Explained that our paths were diverging. Used words like trajectory and misalignment. He didn't cry. He didn't beg. He just looked at me with those sad, deep eyes. You're chasing a ghost, he said. You think the view from the top will fix the hole inside you. It won't. I walked out. Felt relieved. Told the girls. We did shots of tequila. Level up, Chloe screamed over the bass. And I did. Or I thought I did. Enter the high-value men. Dates at Michelin star restaurants. Weekends in the Hamptons. Men in bespoke suits who checked their Blackberries during sex. Conversations were interviews. Where do you summer? What's your portfolio look like? Do you plan on freezing your eggs? It was efficient. It was glamorous. It was incredibly lonely. I dated a CEO named Richard for 2 years. We looked like a magazine cover. He cheated on me with his spinning instructor. When I confronted him, he shrugged. It's just physical. You're the one I bring to Gallus. Stop being dramatic. I left him. Went back to the rotation. Hinge, Raya. The League. Faces blurring together. Men who wanted a mother or a trophy or a therapist. Never a partner. Never a teammate. Work became my identity. I crushed my KPIs. Made the company millions. bought the apartment, bought the bags. But on Sundays, the silence in the penthouse was heavy. I'd catch myself looking at the custom oak table I bought for $8,000. It had a wobble. Leo would have fixed it in 5 minutes. Leo would have made it himself, and it wouldn't have wobbled. I never looked him up. Blocked him on everything the day we broke up. Needed a clean break. Needed to prove I didn't need him. Fast forward to last month. The company sends me to Europe, Italy. A massive merger with a luxury brand based in Tuscany. I need to audit their supply chain. 2 weeks in a villa outside Florence. It should be paradise. But I'm stressed. Wi-Fi is spotty. The espresso is too strong. The pace is infuriatingly slow. Domani, they keep saying. Tomorrow. I'm trying to negotiate a multi-million-dollar contract and they want to talk about cheese. On the Saturday, I have a free day. I rent a Fiat. Drive into the hills. Trying to find some authentic leather shop for a gift for my sister. Get lost. GPS fails. End up on a gravel road winding through vineyards. The light is golden. The air smells like cypress and sun-baked earth. I see a sign. Legno e Vita Restorations and Custom Furniture. I pull in thinking I can ask for directions. It's a stone farmhouse. Beautiful. Ivy crawling up the walls. A massive workshop with the barn doors thrown open. The sound of a planer buzzing. I get out of the car, heels crunching on the gravel. A dog runs out. Golden Retriever mix. Barking happily. A man steps out of the workshop. Wiping his hands on a rag. He's wearing a linen shirt, sleeves rolled up. Tanned. Beard is a little grayer. Shoulders broader. It takes my brain 3 seconds to recalibrate. It's Leo. My stomach drops through the floor. The world tilts. He stops. Squints against the sun. Then he sees me. There's no shock, just a slow realization. Ava? His voice is deeper, rougher. Leo? I choke out. I'm lost. I didn't know. He walks over. Leaner than I remember, but solid. He looks alive. Not the tired look of everyone in New York. He looks like he drank the sun. What are you doing in Tuscany? He asks. Not angry, just curious. Work, I say. Merger. Got lost looking for a leather shop. He chuckles. The sound hits me like a physical blow. I haven't heard genuine laugh in years. Well, you're about 20 miles off course, he says. Come in. I'll make you coffee. You look like you're vibrating. I should say no. I should get in the car and drive until the wheels fall off. Okay, I say. The workshop is a masterpiece. The smell, cedar, beeswax, old rain. It rushes back and I almost weep. Tools hanging neatly on the walls. Half-finished chairs that look like sculptures. I moved here 5 years ago, he says, pouring espresso from a mocha pot. Uncle left me a small plot. It was a ruin. I fixed it up. Started taking commissions from the local villas. Now I have a 6-month waiting list. He isn't bragging, just stating facts. He hands me the cup. Our fingers brush. I feel an electric shock. He doesn't flinch. You look successful, he says. Expensive clothes. I am, I say, defensively. I'm a VP now. Happy? The question hangs in the dust motes, dancing in the light. I'm busy, I say. Important. He nods, doesn't press. Doesn't need to. A woman walks in from the house. She's beautiful in a way that makes me feel manufactured. No makeup. Hair in a messy bun. Wearing a sundress that has flour on the hip. She's carrying a basket of tomatoes. Amor, she says. She sees me. Smiles warm and genuine. We have a guest. This is Ava, Leo says. An old friend from New York. Ava, this is Julia. My wife. Wife. The word echoes. Julia sets the basket down. Comes over and kisses my cheeks. Welcome. You must stay for lunch. We are making pasta. I couldn't intrude, I stammer. Nonsense, she says. Leo, set the table under the trellis. I stay. I torture myself. We sit outside. The view is rolling hills and olive groves. The food is simple. Bread. Oil. Tomatoes that taste like candy. Homemade pasta. Wine from their neighbor's vineyard. A little boy runs out of the house. Maybe 3 years old. Dark curls like Julia. Eyes like Leo. Papa. He climbs onto Leo's lap. Leo kisses the top of his head. Wraps his large, rough hand around the boy's tiny one. Julia watches them with a look of pure adoration. They talk about the garden. About the village festival. About the weather. No talk of stocks. No talk of networking. No, what do you bring to the table? They just are. They are a team, a unit. Leo looks at Julia the way he used to look at me, but deeper. Because she didn't ask him to change. She met him where he was, and they built a life. So, Ava, Julia asks, pouring me more wine, do you have family back in New York? No, I say, just work. I'm very focused on my career right now. It sounds hollow, even to me. Leo catches my eye. He knows. He remembers the nights I cried about being lonely before I decided loneliness was the price of admission. It's a hard city, Leo says gently. It takes a lot from you. It gives a lot too. I lie. Access. Power. Culture. Sure, he says. He doesn't argue. He doesn't need to win. He has already won. After lunch, Leo walks me to my car. The sun is starting to dip. The shadows are long. You have a beautiful life, Leo, I say. My voice shakes. I do, he says. I got lucky. You didn't get lucky, I say. You knew what mattered. He leans against my rental car, crosses his arms. I remember you said I had no ambition, he says. Not biting. Just reflecting. I did, I whisper. My ambition was just different, he says. I didn't want to own the world, Ava. I just wanted to build a corner of it that was mine. And I wanted someone to share it with who didn't look at me like a renovation project. Tears prick my eyes. I'm sorry, I say. Don't be, he says. If you hadn't left, I wouldn't have come here. I wouldn't have met Julia. You set me free. That hurts more than if he had screamed at me. I was the villain in his story who inadvertently gave him his happy ending. And I'm just a cameo in my own life. Drive safe, he says. He taps the roof of the car. Walks back toward the house. Julia is waiting in the doorway. The little boy is chasing the dog. Leo scoops the boy up and swings him around. Laughter echoes across the valley. I get in the car. Turn the key. The engine hums. I drive back to the villa, back to the high-speed Wi-Fi. Back to the merger. Back to the glass box waiting in New York. That night, I sit on the balcony of my hotel, scrolling through my contacts. Hundreds of names, networking leads, brunch crew, date lawyer maybe. Not one person I could call and say, I feel like I wasted my life. Not one person who would understand. They'd just tell me to book a spa day or ask for a raise. I look at the photo of me and Leo again. The girl in the picture looks so hopeful. She thought she was trading up. She thought she was shedding dead weight. She didn't realize she was cutting her own parachute. I close the laptop. The silence in Tuscany is different than the silence in New York. In New York, the silence is waiting for something to happen. Here, the silence is because everything has already happened. And I missed it. I pour another glass of wine. It tastes expensive. It tastes like ash. Be me. 34, successful, wealthy, alone. And realizing that the boring life I ran from was the only thing that was ever real. The check comes due eventually. And I can't pay it with stock options. End.